Um, and when I go from Kevin O'Connell, you're in a good spot there. I believe that you have the best wide receiver in the league. I know that might be a hot take to some of you. If you're Vikings fans watching it, probably not. If you're Dolphins fans, probably, right? I think the conversation is constantly between Tyreek and Justin Jefferson. But when I look at Justin Jefferson, and again, go back a couple years, like I said, I lived in St. Paul. I watched most, if not every Vikings game that year. I come away asking myself, is this the greatest start we've ever seen from a wide receiver? And I know that might be a hot take, and it's like, oh, no way. But then just the way my mind works, I'm like, well, no, hold on. I want to actually look that up. So I kind of went over and I looked at like, okay, what for wide receiver? I guess what three other wide receivers, because obviously we know we're putting Jefferson in there. What three other wide receivers started off their career just like blazing hot, like all time? Two come to mind immediately, right? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go.
Would it go ahead.
Would it be Calvin, Randy, and Jerry?
So close. It was Randy, Jerry, and actually Odell. Odell had one of the hottest starts to a career ever.
Hey, I was a big Odell guy.
No, I know, and I was too.
Yeah.
He single-handedly won me my first fantasy football championship. So I'm a loyal Odellist, if you will.
Never forget your first. Yeah.
No, you never forget your first.
Yeah.
So those four like had these really crazy first 4 seasons in particular. And so when I was going over like receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns, receptions, Randy Moss, 308, Jerry Rice, 264, Odell Beckham, 313. And he was injured, I think his 4th year. So it's a little skewed. But even then still 313 with an injury year in there. That's a lot more than Jerry Rice had. And Justin Jefferson had 392. And obviously, as you guys know, he was injured for, what was it, like 8 games last year or something? Receiving yards, Randy Moss, 5,396. Jerry Rice, 4,881. Odell, 4,424. And then Justin Jefferson, 5,900 yards. I mean, 4 years, you're 100 yards away from 6,000 yards, and you missed half a season. Touchdowns is kind of where he lacks personally. And I mean, again, Vikings fans, you guys know this. It's hard for him to find the end zone, but he still has 30 touchdowns in his first 4 years. Comparatively speaking, Randy Moss at 53, Jerry Rice 49, and Odell 38. Obviously, Randy Moss and Jerry Rice went on to be probably the 1 and 2 best wide receiver ever. And Odell, he's always going to be a what if because of the injuries that he endured kind of in when he should have been in his prime. And you guys are obviously quite familiar with Randy Moss. I think we're seeing the reincarnation of him. This is the closest, like Justin Jefferson's ability to just catch the ball and get yards is like nobody that I can personally ever remember. I'm 30 years old. I remember Randy Moss, but I don't remember Vikings Randy Moss when he was a rookie, right? 1998, 99. I'm not old enough to really, I'm not online yet, really. I'm not sitting there evaluating an NFL game. I'm not saying, oh, this is unbelievable. You remember the jersey and you remember the purple jersey and go, yeah, I like Randy Moss because he catches touchdowns and he's on all these posters that I have at the Scholastic Book Fair, but I'm now witnessing Justin Jefferson, and I think I feel comfortable planting the flag saying he's the best I've ever seen. Like point blank period, he just is. He doesn't have this crazy build like Calvin Johnson had, right? Calvin Johnson looked like LeBron James playing football. He doesn't have some crazy, unbelievable length. He's just like a skinny kid who just can hoop, basically. He can just ball, point blank period. And
It's so good.
I'll let you cook on the quarterbacks in a second, but I kind of want to walk this out with kind of an open-ended thing, which is that I think it was very crucial to Justin Jefferson's legacy for him to get with a quarterback who has all pro potential. And obviously he just signed that 4-year deal, that 4-year extension, $140 million. He's with you guys for 5 more years, barring any trade request. And I'm a little apprehensive about that because I know how good he is, but I want to see him reach that greatest of all time potential because I think there's a 5 to 6 year window that opened just last year where he can be the greatest ever. I mean, he crossed 1,000 yards last year and he missed half the season. That's unbelievable. What happens if he plays the whole season? I mean, he had 400 yards against Nick Mullins against my Lions in weeks 15 and 17. He's really like that. So I don't love that he signed up to be with a kid like JJ McCarthy for the next 5 years. But that being said, and again, I'll let you cook in a second. JJ McCarthy has always won everywhere he went. So this could backfire. It was just kind of a thought that I had. I wish that like the Texans would have gotten him. I wish the Bills would have gotten him. I want to see him paired up with one of those like really, really elite quarterbacks. But that being said, I mean, hey, Vikings fans, you got the best wide receiver in the league for the next 5 years. Enjoy every second of it,
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, talking about him just gets me so excited because
he's just like
the Vikings aren't our team; they're an in-division rival, and you and I have both loved this player for years, kind of despite that, just because it's a recognition, right? It's looking at another team's guy and going, yeah, he's better than anybody on my team. It's okay, I admit it. It's fine. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to get into the weeds. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's better. He just is. He's that guy
100%.
for real.
I'm the guy.
Stop saying you're the guy. We all know that you're not the guy.
He's not the guy. I am.
And you are?
I'm the guy. The real guy.
And it's interesting. I think you're right. I think part of the reason why we're not just unanimously saying best receiver in football and leaving it there has a lot to do with the quarterback situation. Receiver's a dependent position.
Yeah.
And I think things are very shaky right now, optically for football fans of kind of going,
Agreed.
okay, what are we doing here? Like, what's the plan?